Yo, the CFL was, I mean, again, I played, 6, 7 years in the NFL.
Mm.
Not even close. CFL was way more fun just as a player because here's the thing, and I love the NFL and the competition is top notch and the money is, but from the CFL perspective, there's no off season, right? So when your last game is like Thanksgiving weekend if you make it to the championship, right? So Thanksgiving weekend, you're off and you're done until June. So there's no off season. In the CBA for the CFL, you have to be done with practice, meetings, everything by like 1:00, right?
That's a dream come true.
4-hour days is the max. Teams aren't allowed to keep you for more than 4 hours a day. So I'm in the middle of Montreal, one of the biggest cities in North America, just a melting pot of every kind of people you can imagine, shopping, nightlife, you name it. And I'm done every day at like 12:31. It feels like a summer job. I'm getting paid and it was amazing. And like you said, we travel to these other cities, we get there a day early, and after the game, we stay. It's not like we get in the NFL, you come in, you play, and you leave, period.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even in that downtime, there's meetings, you have somewhere to be every minute of the time that you're doing anything. There, it's not like that. It's like, yo, see you guys at the game. We go to the game, we get done, hit the other team up, like, yo, what are the spots? Oh, meet us here. We got a table at such and such in downtown Vancouver. Cool. We kick it the next morning. We hop on a plane and we fly back.
Dude, that's wild.
That is wild.
Why do you think the CFL wasn't isn't as successful as the NFL then? Is there do you think there should be a merger? Because my thought is that the CFL, first off, if you want to be anybody in the CFL, they want to go to the NFL, right? That's kind of like the stepping stone. That's our minor league in a lot of ways. You know what? You can call me wrong in a second, but I'm going to
Okay, my bad.
He's Hawk. He's a first rounder. He doesn't,
He doesn't get that life.
Hey, listen. I'm just saying. People want to make money. They want to go to the NFL and make money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So.
I'm just saying, why doesn't the CFL do a regular football side, a regular football field and have 4 downs and all that? Why would they, why wouldn't they do the same exact thing that's been so successful as the NFL to build a bigger brand?
So here's how it works. So the CFL has been around longer than the NFL. Number one, it's the longest standing professional football league. They were first, even down into the 70s. Back in the 70s and late 70s, the money was not different. So there are people that would not play in the NFL and go play in Canada because they got paid more money. Because the NFL players weren't making a lot of money. So there was an actual hey, I don't know what league I want to play with. It depends on who pays me more. So even in the NFL, the goalposts were at the front of the end zone, right? They moved them to the back of the end zone. So back in the day, the rules were a little closer than they are now. But the CFL has a ton of tradition, and they don't care. When you're in Canada, you don't get all the NFL games. They might play one on TSN, which is their version of ESPN, but when you turn on SportsCenter, they talk about Canadian Football League. It is their league, and they like to keep it their league. Even in the rosters, there's a 42 active man roster. 19 of them have to be Canadian born. You can't just flood your team with a bunch of American talent. So it was harder for me to make the roster in Canada than it was in the NFL, just because there's only limited spots, right? And in Canada, you'll have certain positions that are just reserved for Canadians. So a lot of the offensive linemen, they're we got our own big white guys. We can handle that, right?
So disrespectful. Oh, you can find those fuckers.
We got our own big white guys.
They're everywhere.
Free safeties, slot receivers, possession. We got those. They go down and they go get all the 4-2 guys, the 4-3 guys. They can get them. But yeah, no, they're just big on the tradition. What I could see happening is, especially in the middle of a quarantine where there's no season there, and they don't make as much money as the NFL by any stretch of the imagination. But I could see where the NFL basically buys the CFL and makes them, their kind of development league. I mean, it would be.
You're thinking this around right now. You could see that being a play for the NFL.
I could see that being a play. It's an established league. That's the difference between with the leagues that pop up here and there. It's established. When I played in Montreal, every game was sold out for years. And they're not huge stadiums. They're 40,000, 50,000. It depends on where you go. But yeah, you play in Saskatchewan, that's a Green Bay-ish town. The entire city is just wrapped around that football team. Like that's all they have. That's all they care about.
But
So,
but college football, the NFL already has a developmental league. They have college football. They have literally free labor. They have like, oh,
yeah.
we have everything we need. That's why they don't need that AAA, single A kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, they could do the spring thing, and the thing, the other thing it does for the league is that it exposes them more internationally, and it begins. They have a place where they could start to kind of test some of those markets and waters, and But I still think a development league is important, even in the NFL, because as you know, guys come from college, they're just not ready.
Yeah.
For me, if I would have went to the league right out of college, I don't think I would have made it.
Why is
Did
why
you
is it
try?
maturity?
Didn't you try? Didn't you go to like a rookie minicamp or anything?
Yeah, I went to a rookie minicamp and I did great because, again, one-on-one, I'm going to be hard to guard. I'm quick and fast, right? So especially people that are, my same development, I'm going to do well against. So I did really well, but just understanding the game. Like I got to go play in Montreal with Mark Trestman, who was then went on to be the Bears head coach and 30 years in the NFL coach. But I learned the game. I learned to play against grown men in an environment where I wasn't like, hey, you have to be the man right now or you can't stay, which is the NFL, right? Like you got to bring it now if you're coming from where I was coming from. The only people who get time are the guys who get in the first round, second round, those kind of guys. So being in the NFL, when I came back down after 2 and 3 years playing the Bengals, I was a rookie when A.J. Green and Andy Dalton came in. And I remember being in the weight room and Reggie Nelson, who was a free safety, was like, yo, how many years you been in the league? And I'm like, oh, I'm a rookie. And he was like, you're not no rookie. I'm like, yeah, it's my first year in the NFL. Where'd you play at? I'm like, Canada. He's like, yeah, I could tell you played against grown men. Like that's a thing. Like once you learn to play against grown men, it's a different mindset. So that's the thing that the TFL could do for a lot of players who may have a chance to stick, but there's nowhere for them to develop those skills and hone that mentality.
So you think if the NFL acquires the CFL that they might just change it? Do you think they'll change it to their rules to keep it all kind of similar? Or do you think Canada fans won't like that one bit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, here's what I have no idea that's even a thing, right? So people are going to –
Right, yeah. We're all speculating here. It's interesting.
But if they did, it would only make sense for them to change the rules. And I don't know how the thing about Canadian football fans that love the CFL, the thing that they would hate more than changing their – tradition and historic rules is not having anything to root for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't know if that's what the situation the CFL is in, but that money not coming in is a big deal to that league.